Have you ever caught yourself talking to yourself, asking yourself some questions? Well, if so, today we learn we must have the right answers if we're going to do that. Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Coffee. It's Friday. Oh, my goodness. I didn't think I would be on today. I think I said that to you yesterday, and I am a little late. So maybe you'll find me. Maybe you'll see me later. Maybe we'll catch up at a different time. But it worked out that I have a few moments. And I will tell you, after our reading this morning, after reading these Psalms, I just had to get on, if only for a minute, to talk about the Psalm 121. This I have taught on so many times, but even more important than teaching on it, it has become, there's a verse in this psalm that I have cross-stitched for people. I have had embroidered on blankets for my sons when they went off to college. It is such a big promise that I just had to share with you today. So I hope that you'll find this message somewhere along the way, because I think it's going to be important for all of us to remember many promises, but the major promise that just touches my heart. Hey, Stephanie. Hey, Debbie. Hey, Tammy. I see you're finding me. This is so good. So we were to read one to many Psalms today, but I had to go back to 121 I don't know, it just soothes my soul. Hey, Joyce, you can't see everybody else. I don't know what it is. I think it's because of your friends, as to who you can see, who's on and who's not. But it's always so much fun to see how people connect and how God has that. So, Joyce, it's so good to see you too, as well as it is Debbie, and I see Tammy, and I see Patricia, and I see many people. So I'm so glad you found us this morning. Psalms 121. Psalms 121. I lift up my eyes to the mountains. Where does my help come from? My help comes from the Lord, the maker of heaven and earth. He will not let your foot slip. He who watches over you will not slumber. Indeed, he who watches over Israel will neither slumber nor sleep. The Lord watches over you. The Lord is your right shade at the right hand. The sun will not harm you by day, nor the moon by night. The Lord will keep you from all harm. He will watch over your life. The Lord will watch over your comings and your goings, both now and forever. Wow. What a power-packed message for all of us today. You know, many times I talk about how the Bible is our protection. Yesterday we talked about how it's our refuge. This, my friend, is such a refuge of protection and promise. Now, I started out by asking that any of you ever find yourself talking to yourself, and do you have the right answer when you do? Well, see, this is the way this particular psalm starts. It starts out, I lift up my eyes to the mountains, but then the psalmist asks himself a question: where does my help come from? Do you ever wonder that? Do you ever wonder, how is this going to ever work out? Who can stop in and help me? Oh my gosh, how will this, we've all caught ourselves talking that way. I know we have. We're trying to process, we're trying to figure out things. How did this happen? What am I going to do? How could this ever be helped? Who is big enough to handle this? This is too big for me. This is too big for my wallet. This is too big for my heart. This is too big for the doctors. This is too big. This is too big for my marriage. We can't get over this. This is too big for my relationship with a certain person, because I can't get over this. The forgiveness is too big. The hurt is too big. And here's the thing. God is saying, no matter how big it is, I have more. I have more, he's telling us. And the psalmist knows that. He asks himself a question: where does my help come from? And he immediately answers his own question. My help comes from the Lord. And he doesn't just stop there. He reminds himself and he reminds us today who the Lord is, the maker of heaven and earth. He's saying if God can make heaven and earth, then he can handle whatever we're facing today. Doesn't mean that it's not grievous. It doesn't mean that it's so big that it's crushing our heart. It doesn't mean that we are just scoot through and go, oh, I'm just going to keep quoting scriptures to people. No, it is an in-depth truth and peace where the psalmist is saying, where in the world, who in the world can handle what I'm going through? And he declares, my help, the one who has the more than what I'm facing. He is going to be my help. He created everything I see, the heaven and the earth. I don't know about you all, but that's good news for me today. How about you? See why I had to get on here and talk about it for just a little bit? Because so many times we're giving up. There's so many people who are committing suicide. There's so many people who are turning to drugs. There's so many people who are turning outside their marriages. There's so many people turning because they just don't think that there's help. They think, well, I've messed up this badly. I might as well just go ahead and take the spiral all the way down. And God is saying that our psalmist here is going, no, it's not too late. This is the God who made everything is still on your side. I think that's powerful. And then it's as if someone else steps in here to talk. It's almost like there's a third person in this conversation that joins in and says, oh, yes. And oh, by the way, this God, this Lord, the maker of heaven and earth, he won't even let your foot slip. He who watches over you, he's not asleep. He's awake. He sees it all. Indeed, he who watches over Israel, his chosen people. He says, even he who watches over Israel, he's not asleep. He's not missing a thing. Does anybody else need to hear that? Does some of you feel like that you're being so mistreated or that you've been left out and you're thinking you're the only one that knows about it? Maybe someone's been gossiped badly about and you're thinking, oh my gosh, no one knows the truth. Right here. The one who watches over Israel, the one who created heaven and earth, he does not slumber, nor does he sleep. He sees it all. And he is our great revenger. He is the one who's going to, at the right time, if we do not give up. Galatians 6:9. Verse 5, the Lord watches over you. His eyes are on you, my friends. The Lord is your shade on your right hand. The sun will not harm you by day or the moon by night. The sun by day, the moon by night. That's two opposites. That's the contrast. That means as good as it gets, as dark as it gets, as light as it gets, as great as it gets, God is always there. To me, I just could not share this with you today. The sun will not harm you by day, the moon by night. The Lord will keep you from all harm. And some of you might go, but I'm harming. I'm harmed. I'm hurt. But there is a peace. There is a coating around your heart that nothing can get to. The joy of the Lord takes his stand in there. And in the midst of our deepest hurts, if we will go there, if we'll go into that secret place with God, that is where we go, where only he can minister to us, and he promises to always be there. I wonder how many of you could give testimony to the fact that when you thought life was not even worth living, when the pain was so deep, that in your quiet time, in a time where you thought it was, if you started crying, you'd never stop. I wonder how many of you would give testimony to the fact that when you settled your heart and opened your Bible or sang a psalm or talked to a godly friend, that there was a peace there that you discovered in the midst of it all that kept you from going down. What is it that saying that the ship does not sink because it's on the water? It sinks if the water gets in. And so God protects our heart so that water can't get in to sink us. That's his promise to us. The Lord will keep you from all that harm. He will watch over your life. So, I mean, what beautiful messages and promises that we have here. The psalmist says, the Lord is our shade. Um, he will protect us. He doesn't sleep. No matter the opposites in our lives, he's there. He doesn't run. He isn't afraid. He doesn't, our troubles are not too big. Whatever it is, he's our more. Whatever you're going through right now, God is your more. He longs to be our more. When we think about more in 24, before we do more, we must be more. And the way we are to become more is to see that God is our more. And he stands there with everything that we need, everything to get us through whatever we're going through today. It's a powerful thing. But I want to end on what I think is, I love this. Verse 8, may the Lord watch over your coming and your going, both now and forever. May the Lord watch over your life. May the Lord watch over your comings and goings from now and forever. I had my brother, who's a police officer, and I would worry so much about him. When he would go out, I'd always pray, oh Lord, please bring him home safely. Bring him home safely. And then when he got married, his wife would do the same thing. Bring him home safely. Bring him home safely. Maybe you have someone in the military. Maybe you have someone in a job like that. Maybe it's a child. I cross-stitched this as a prayer, this very verse. God will watch over your life. The Lord will watch over your comings and your goings. In other words, God's going to see you out and he's going to see you back in. He's going to protect you. And every day, my brother said that when he would go out, he would read that. And that would be his prayer. God, I know you're seeing me as I'm going out. I know you're going to see me to come back in. And that became his prayer. And it was right out of the word. He was praying the word. When my boys went to college, I bought them both a blanket. And at the end of at the bottom of the blanket, I had this monogrammed, is that the right word I'm looking for? On the bottom of stitched on the bottom of their blanket. So at night, when they would go to sleep, this verse would be on their feet. It would cover them from the base of their foot up. May the Lord watch over your life. May he watch your every coming and every going, both now and forever. Beautiful prayer. Beautiful, 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 beautiful prayer. Pray it. Start praying it now over your family, your friends, your loved ones coming and going. You can send God's word off with those that you love. You can put it in cross stitch or a pretty writing and put it somewhere on your walls. Remember, Deuteronomy says, put it on your walls. We can do that. We must do that. So I wanted to bring this Psalms 121 to you today because it just means so much to me. And really what it does is, if you were to sum it all up, Psalms 121 provides the words of assurance. I'm reading off my notes this morning. Provides the words of assurance that if you and I, if we will fix our eyes squarely on the source of our hope, and we have to be intentional about that we keep our eyes on the source of our hope, then the Lord, the maker of heaven and earth, who does not slumber, will indeed guard, keep watch over you, protect, be a shade, if we will do that. We just have to do that. If we take our eyes off the source of our assuredness, then we look into the other mountains for help. And then the mundane, the ordinary, the the malicious things, then we don't find comfort in them. So may we always remember to lift up our eyes to the mountains of the God that we serve, and to, no matter what is going on around us, to take these promises and say, God, I know you promised to be my shade. I know you promised to be my protector. I know you promised, Lord, that as my son is going out, as my daughter's going out, as they're going into the military, as they're going to serve you, as they're going to their job, as they're going to the grocery store, as they're going to wherever they're going, God, please watch over their lives and their comings and their goings. Wow. What a message of more, don't you all think? So thank you for joining me this morning. And I know other people will find it throughout the day, but I just feel like there's so many people who are hurting right now and they don't know, they're not sure if there's enough help out there to get them through. And God says, I am your more. Turn to me, I am your more. In your deepest grief, I am your more. On your highest mountain, I am your more. And he says, and I am faithful. I will never leave you nor forsake you. He is always our more. What a powerful word. Well, now thank you for allowing me to jump on this morning, even when I said that I wouldn't be. And if you would know of anybody who's hurting or facing difficult times or just maybe needs a message of hope today, you're always free to pass these along. All right, friends. Well, I pray that you have a wonderful weekend. Stay safe and stay healthy. And may the Lord guide you and protect you. You're going out and you're coming back in. Look forward to seeing you Monday. Bye, everybody. Bye-bye.